I never really gave Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon a fair chance back in the day. I hated it for being different, like many others. But since then, being well over 10 years since that experience, I went in with an open mind to only find myself wanting more of the style of EDF. It's more serious, controls well, and offers a good variety of classes to play with. Sure, there's a few problems, but I feel like this game just got hate for the sake of hate. So here's why I feel like EDFIA is wrongfully hated and deserves better. Insect Armageddon was developed by Vicious Cycle Software and published by D3 Publisher in the year 2011. That was 14 years ago. Oh dear God.
Old.
It was made by Americans and wasn't exactly given enough time to be finished. As such, the game was rushed out the door because Japan is kind of a bigot towards American developers. They always love to abuse our studios and see everything they do as a failure, simply because they're not Japanese. Square Enix has done this countless times as well. Then again, I'm sure you've heard of those ones.
There's more of them coming your way, Lightning. Seem to be just coming straight off the ground. There's a fuzz ton of debris being thrown around too.
So it's not surprising to find out this game isn't a full EDF experience. Instead, it's a half-baked short game that shows its flaws, yet also shows so much potential, and has a lot of things going for it at times, with some things being better here than in the Sandlot games.
Lightning, ravages incoming. Take out those ravages.
It was released for PS3, Xbox 360, and for the first time in the series at the time, PC, featuring 4 armor sets, or classes if you will, to choose from as you fight in America against the Ravagers across 15 missions, making it the shortest EDF game outside of Wing Diver the Shooter. The plot is the Earth Defense Force is fighting back against the Ravagers who are invading the world. Insect Armageddon takes place entirely within New Detroit, as you play as Lightning, voiced by Steve motherfucking Blum. It's Steve Blum!
You didn't need to post that. Why? Why did you post it? It's too late now to delete it.
With a squad of 2 EDF soldiers following you in single player, it's up to your team to complete 15 missions across New Detroit, fighting various kinds of alien creatures and machines, utilizing over 300 weapons and 4 armor sets that were predecessors to EDF 2025/4.1 with the Wing Diver, Air Raider, and Fencer. And unlike the Sandlot games, these control way better. So let's get into it.
Affirmative.
When you start the game for the first time, you'll be given the ability to choose which armor set you want to play with first. You got Trooper, who's your generic run-of-the-mill soldier. Each armor comes with pros, cons, different levels of health and armor, and an ability or not, and which weapons they can use. Trooper is your run-of-the-mill guy who can use rifles, shotguns, rocket launchers, and more, but has no special ability. Tactical armor is more of a support class type, as they use SMGs, grenade launchers, and more, but can also spawn in turrets, landmines, and more gear to aid you during each mission, just like in future games with the Air Raider, except he cannot call in vehicles. Jet is this game's version of the Wing Diver, or Pale Wing if you're old school. They use energy-based weapons and can fly around or glide. The gliding is just a faster sprint and doesn't use up energy, but flying does, alongside reloading your gun, use up your energy. Your energy will recharge on its own. Unlike Pale Wing and Wing Diver, however, Jet controls great and is just so smooth to use. Too bad Sandlot couldn't take note to make a good class.
Lightning, the carrier is dropping more gunships. Try to target the gunship deployment hatches while they're open.
Okay, Ops. Roger that.
The last armor set is Battle. This game's Fencer, but unlike the Fencer, you can always have a shield and it's energy based, so you can easily see while using it, plus it'll recharge once destroyed, so it's not gone forever. This armor set isn't clunky unlike the Fencer either. It comes with heavy duty guns, mostly explosive based. Overall, our armor sets, or classes, whichever you prefer to refer to them as, I'll use class in this review going forward, are all good and well worth playing each one at least once. In fact, the game kind of makes you use each one till you've unlocked them all, and for good reason. They're good and well worth playing, unlike Sandlot EDF games, where you'll just want to play as the soldier or air raider only, but mostly generic soldier. So yeah, the controls are your standard third-person shooter PC keyboard layout. Nothing feels out of place. WSD to move, mouse to look / aim, left click to shoot, right click to access abilities, 1, 2, and 3 for abilities, shift for sprint, spacebar to jump, E for action, R to reload. It's all standard and everything plays well enough. So if you rather use the keyboard and mouse instead of a controller, or vice versa, it won't matter. Either way, the game plays great. While Earth Defense Force was always known for its infamous low-budget jank and PlayStation 2 era gameplay, Insect Armageddon does away with that in favor of a more traditional smooth third-person shooter. Nothing feels off, and every class is fun to play with. Moving around is buttery smooth, never feeling like a slog to get around.
Thanks, Lightning. We'll take it from here. Let's roll!
Especially since this is the first game to include sprinting. Oh god, anyone who's ever played an EDF game has no idea what a godsend this is. Before we had to rely on rolling around as we turned the camera. It was clunky, slow, and highly repetitive. Sprinting just makes things so much easier. Hold down that shift key and move. It just works. You have 2 weapons with you at all times. You get to select what those 2 weapons are. It's always suggested to bring a ranged explosive weapon alongside whatever else you want, so a rocket launcher or grenade launcher, or at worst, Anyone who's ever played an EDF game knows what I mean at worst. A missile launcher.
Oh, it's true.
Before every mission, you get to pick your armor, weapons, and special abilities, if any at all, and your armor color too. Then you begin your mission of slaughtering every bug off the face of the earth. It's your traditional setup, and it just works, outside of the UI being designed with a controller in mind.
Indeed.
As you play, you'll earn score and experience points for every mission completed, with various factors taken into consideration on how much you'll earn, with a ranking system to increase. This will allow you to use more powerful weapons, unlock new stuff, and increase your health/armor, earning credits as you play. You use these to buy new weapons within the loadout section in between missions.
We have a little bit of time before the bomb detonates, and I'm going to do my best to get you out of there. A small element from Echo Squad got held up making it to the LZ, and they should be just across the bridge. You need to rendezvous with them ASAP. This whole area is crawling with Ravagers, but the scans must be disrupted. There's no way readings this huge could be accurate.
So this means no more crates for armor and weapons. Killing enemies is just for the sake of killing them, for survival, and of course the occasional health crate to heal. Otherwise you increase your score, and I'm guessing experience from this. I can't find any concrete info on what exactly counts towards the experience system online. As you play in single player, you'll have a squad of 2 troopers joining you. Sadly, you cannot customize them or swap their armor for another. They'll always use the same weapons. They've got names, but it doesn't matter. They're not unique characters, but they do their job quite well. Rarely did I have to revive them, as they put up a good fight. They saved my hide more times than I could count, and vice versa. It was a nice change of pace to play a game with AI teammates that can actually function. I'm so used to games featuring Ubisoft AI these days. They'll utilize vehicles when you don't. They'll get into the tank with you to use the turrets as you blast things. Kid and Kicker are a good way to enjoy this game without playing with others online or through split screen.
Understand, Ops, I use the term weak in a relative sense.
Did you copy that, Lightning? Go for the chest.
Lightning here, Ops. We copy.
Unlike in other games, if you get killed, it's not game over. Instead, if Kick and Kicker are still around, they'll rush to revive you, giving you another chance to complete the mission. This is a nice change of pace. You're no longer going to need to worry so much about dying and restarting the whole damn mission now. Too bad other EDF games don't feature this in single player. Come on, Sandlot, make the AI teammates useful for once.
What the hell? No, 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 no!
While most of the EDF games have vehicles, this one only comes with 2 and 2 turrets.
Guys, stop! You're giving me too many options. I'm only one man here.
The turrets come in your typical bird gun for everything. Then there's the anti-air turret that's only good for the saucers and stuff. It's also super effective like using a fire Pokemon against a grass type. Then there's the mechs that are sluggish but have high damage output. They can go burr and fire explosive rounds. They're also fun as fuck. Then the last vehicle is a tank that does what a tank does. Unlike Sandlot EDF games, the tank here controls very well. In fact, I never had to fight the controls. It was just so much fun blasting shit as my squad used the machine gun turrets on the tank.
My translator, see if there's anything useful.
Come on, we're getting wiped out here! Leave with that! Stand and back!
It does suck there's no helicopters or anything to play with, but it's fine, as Sandlot choppers controlled the absolute worst to this day. Vicious Psycho Software did good, unlike Sandlot, in making smooth, fun controlling weapons of destruction. Too bad we can't call them in. They're restricted to certain missions only. Yes, only certain missions will have the vehicles available, and that does indeed suck.
EDF damaged one or two of them, but that's it. All surviving forces pulled out. Those things own Tokyo now.
Your usual EDF enemies are present in Insect Armageddon. You got the ants, spiders, bees, and even robotic variants. Then you got the saucers, ticks, giant robot spider, transports, Hectors, giant Hector, and ant queen. Each doing what they usually do. Ants shitting out their orange acid, spiders shitting out their webs. Even when you kill them, they still shoot the webs to piss you off. Saucers flying around avoiding your gunfire and blasting your ass. God, I hate the flying enemies.
Think we can get on TV for this? What is it? I don't even...
Though not as much as the ticks. These guys are fast, hard to hit, and will roll around latching onto everyone to only explode a few seconds later. You can mash the E key to try to get them off of you, but they're going to explode faster than you can remove them, so might as well take the explosive damage and keep fighting. God, I hate the fucking ticks.
It looks like the rally point is a hot zone. Do what you can to mop up and secure the area. I'll have some new orders for you shortly.
Sadly, the EDF formula runs its course after 3 or so missions. There's just no real variety in these games. Even EDF 5 lacked any variety. The series needs a serious change-up. Otherwise, it'll stay a mediocre series of games that never will flourish. Anyways, Insect Armageddon does have that problem, but thankfully, it's only 15 missions total. Though some can take roughly 20 minutes, or only 6 minutes. It'll vary on many factors.
Tell me more.
Like when you need to kill all enemies to proceed, but one gets stuck out of the map boundaries, so you can't get to it and must use explosives to kill them. Or you got a powerful weapon and one-shot a boss and it's over. So that's still present like in other EDF games. The worst offender was easily dealing with the Ant Queen at the end of the game. A traditional boss with the earlier titles before the Mothership was your final boss. She just won't die. Her weak point is protected, and trying to get around all the other ants and spiders and various objects littering around does add up to a repetitive button masher. It took me around 8 whole minutes of blasting the bitch's ass to kill her, while my squad just tried to deal with her minions as well as my turrets. It was a slog.
Good work, Lightning. The Queen is dead. Mop up any remaining enemies.
Sometimes enemies seem to have more health in certain levels than others just to make them more difficult because the mission was supposed to be more of a dire situation theme. Then in others, they go down like it's nothing. So there's some faults, but it didn't really ruin the fun I had, especially because it's only 15 missions versus the series' usual 80 plus we're used to. Hell, wasn't Earth Defense Force 5 like almost 200 if not over 200?
Jesus Christ!
Warning, spoilers. Skip ahead to avoid them. Use YouTube chapters to select the next one. Otherwise, get ready for the ending of the game. 3, 2, 1. Honestly though, the game falls flat on its face with the ending, as you attempt to escape a nuke you programmed to go off, and the mothership arriving, till you end up getting blasted by the ship, and then the results show. No credits, no cinematics, nothing. You can then select any mission to play, or quit. Yep, that's it. And it's all just bullshit. But I get it. The developer was forced to release the game unfinished because Japanese people think they're superior and are the only ones capable of making something. They hated the American developer, wanting nothing more than to make sure that they fail. And in a way, they succeeded in that.
Time's running out and you need to get clear of the blast radius.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. 10-4, Ops Lady. You don't have to get testy.
Lightning? Lightning! Lightning, come in! Lightning!
Well, that was a load of shit.
But outside of the campaign, what is exactly left to do? Well, you can play the campaign again with remixed enemy encounters thrown into it via campaign remix. Otherwise, you can play survival mode. Here, you just get to play as the trooper and use basic weapons. No unlocks or anything allowed. You must use the default starting stats and loadout. Then you just try to survive wave after wave of enemies, and it's just okay. Would be more fun online, as solo is just meh, kinda like Nazi zombies and World at War. It's okay, but with others is where the real fun lies. As for the other section, we'll cover the PC port first, which surprisingly works quite well. I never had any stability issues, graphical or audio glitches. Everything just works straight out of the box. Sure, the UI is clearly designed with a controller in mind, and is a clunky mess with a keyboard and mouse, but that's nothing new for the series. Otherwise, if you're worried if it'll not work on Windows 10, it will work. Flawlessly. There's not many options to select from outside of anti-aliasing and resolution basically, but that's fine. Overall, pretty good port. And something that's sadly still kinda hard to find in 2025.
Stand straight!
Oh god, and the music, it's so good. Easily one of the best in the entire series, with your usual horror tones and tons of beeps and boops, but also orchestrated eargasms and guitar riffs. You'll feel the adrenaline coursing through your veins as you slaughter every motherfucking bug that's threatening your planet. At the end of the day, Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon is a flawed gem. It was wrongfully hated back in the day for being different, more serious, and not a finished game. That's not the developer's fault, it's the 3 publisher who rushed them to make sure no one could make a good EDF game but themselves, because Japan is a very nationalist country. Then again, what else is new? Sure, it has a terrible ending. The UI is very console-oriented, there's not much content, and the multiplayer isn't exactly alive anymore, but it's still got some quality fun to it. A lot of what's here would be utilized in future EDF games that are now standard with 2025/4.1, 5, and of course the more recent 6. It's an average game well worth playing. I had fun. Sure, it gets old after a while, but so does all EDF games. They're not something you can play through in one session. It's a pick up and play kind of game. Something you play in short bursts.
Well, no!
You're missing out if you haven't played EDFIA. Go and play it today. The PC port is good and runs perfectly fine on Windows 10. It's on Steam, and while it never goes on sale anymore, I got my money's worth. The DLC just adds more weapons for each armor set, so it's nothing necessary, but there is a bundle on Steam if you want everything for a smaller price tag. Seriously, give Insect Armageddon a chance.
Yeah, okay, fine.
And if you played it before and didn't like it back in the day, give it a second chance. It's truly a fun game, and I'm bummed we'll never get to see more from this entry, as Vicious Cycle Software was sold off and closed down just a few years after this game came out. So it's a unique experience that's only $10.
Okay, quit nagging.
Anyways, that's it for this video. See y'all later.
Turn all tables and seatbacks to an upright position as we begin our descent to... never mind. We're here. Happy hunting.
Lightning. The crash site is on the other end of the island. Waypoint up. Let's get in and out quick.
Got it. Lightning, this is Captain Sully.